In the grand hall of the Galactic Military Academy, the air was thick with anticipation. Cadets from various species filled the seats, their eyes fixed on the stage, where the esteemed Professor Xal'thor, a veteran of countless interstellar conflicts, was about to begin his lecture. The topic for today was one that had intrigued and baffled many: human distress signals and reinforcements. Professor Xal'thor, a towering figure with scales that shimmered under the lights, began with a deep, resonant voice. Welcome, cadets. Today, we delve into the complexities of engaging humans in combat. Humans, as you may know, are a species that defies conventional military doctrines. Their responses to distress signals are particularly unpredictable and often lead to unexpected reinforcements. He paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle. To understand humans, one must first understand their concept of distress signals. Unlike many species that view distress as a sign of weakness, humans see it as a call to arms. When a human unit is in danger, they do not retreat or surrender. Instead, they converge and call for reinforcements. A holographic display flickered to life behind him, showing a human soldier sending a distress signal. Observe, Xal'thor continued. This soldier is not merely asking for help. He is rallying his comrades. Within moments, additional forces will arrive, often overwhelming the enemy with sheer numbers and ferocity. The cadets murmured among themselves, some nodding in understanding, while others looked perplexed. Xal'thor raised a clawed hand to silence them. Engaging humans requires a different approach. Traditional military doctrines isolating and eliminating the enemy. However, with humans, this strategy can backfire. Their distress signals act as a beacon, drawing reinforcements from all directions. He gestured to the hologram, which now displayed a human squad surrounded by enemy forces. In this scenario, the enemy believes they have the upper hand. But watch what happens next. The hologram showed human reinforcements arriving from multiple directions, quickly turning the tide of battle. Humans are unpredictable, Xal'thor emphasized. Their actions in combat are influenced by their laws and customs surrounding distress signals. They have a deep-seated belief in leaving no one behind, which means they will go to great lengths to rescue their comrades. A cadet from the back row raised a tentacle. Professor, how can we predict their responses if they are so unpredictable? Xal'thor smiled, revealing rows of sharp teeth. Excellent question. The key is to expect the unexpected. When engaging humans, always consider the high likelihood of encountering overwhelming force. Their reinforcements can arrive at any moment, and they often disobey traditional military doctrines to achieve their objectives. He walked to the edge of the stage, his eyes scanning the room. Let me share a personal experience. During the Battle of Orion's Belt, my unit encountered a small human outpost. We believed it to be an easy target. However, as soon as we engaged, distress signals were sent. Within minutes, we were surrounded by human forces from nearby sectors. They fought with a tenacity and coordination that we had not anticipated. We were forced to retreat, and I learned a valuable lesson that day. Never underestimate the human's ability to call for and receive reinforcements. The cadets were silent, absorbing the gravity of his words. Xal'thor continued, to manage engagement with humans, you must be adaptable. Use deception and misdirection to disrupt their communication. If you can prevent them from sending distress signals, you can limit their ability to call for reinforcements. However, if a signal is sent, prepare for an influx of enemy forces. He turned back to the hologram, which now displayed a map of a human-controlled sector. Study their communication networks. Identify key nodes and disrupt them. Use electronic warfare to jam their signals. But remember, even if you succeed, humans have a remarkable ability to adapt and find alternative means of communication. Xal'thor's eyes gleamed with a mix of respect and caution. Humans are a formidable adversary because they are driven by a sense of duty and camaraderie. They will risk everything to save their own. This makes them both predictable in their unpredictability and dangerous in their determination. He concluded the lecture with a final piece of advice. When facing humans, always be prepared for the unexpected. Their distress signals are not a sign of defeat, but a rallying cry. Engage with caution, disrupt their communications, and never underestimate their capacity for reinforcements. Remember, in the chaos of battle, the humans' greatest strength lies in their unity and their unwavering resolve to protect one another. The cadets rose to their feet, applauding the wisdom imparted by Professor Xal'thor. As they filed out of the hall, they carried with them a newfound understanding of the complexities of human combat behavior. The lesson was clear: in the face of human distress signals, one must be prepared for anything, for the human's response would be swift, coordinated, and relentless. As the cadets dispersed, a young Zorbian named K'Lar approached Professor Xal'thor. "Professor, may I ask a question?" "Of course, Cadet K'Lar," Xal'thor replied, his tone encouraging. K'Lar hesitated for a moment before speaking. "You mentioned that humans often disobey traditional military doctrines. Can you give an example of how they do this in response to distress signals?" Xal'thor nodded thoughtfully. "Certainly. One notable example is the Battle of Epsilon Eridani. The human forces were outnumbered and outgunned. According to traditional military doctrine, they should have retreated to regroup. Instead, they sent out a distress signal and held their ground, using guerrilla tactics to harass and delay the enemy. Their reinforcements arrived just in time to turn the tide of the battle. This unorthodox approach caught their adversaries off guard and led to a decisive victory for the humans." K'Lar's eyes widened in admiration. "So, their unpredictability can be a strategic advantage?" "Precisely," Xal'thor affirmed. "Humans are masters of improvisation. They can adapt to changing circumstances and find creative solutions to seemingly insurmountable problems. This makes them a challenging opponent, but also a fascinating one to study." Another cadet, a feline like Thalassian named Arakesh, joined the conversation. "Professor, how do we counter such unpredictability? Is there a way to anticipate their moves?" Xal'thor considered the question carefully. While it is difficult to predict human behavior with certainty, there are strategies that can help. One approach is to study their past actions and identify patterns. Humans are creatures of habit, and their responses to distress signals often follow certain trends. Additionally, maintaining flexibility in your own tactics and being prepared to adapt quickly can help mitigate the element of surprise. Arakesh nodded, her whiskers twitching in thought. "Thank you, Professor. Your insights are invaluable." As the cadets continued to discuss the lecture among themselves, Xal'thor felt a sense of satisfaction. He had imparted not just knowledge, but a deeper understanding of the human spirit. The cadets would carry this wisdom into their future engagements, better prepared to face the unpredictable and resilient humans. Later that evening, Xal'thor retired to his quarters, reflecting on the day's lecture. He knew that understanding humans was an ongoing challenge, one that required constant vigilance and adaptation. But he also knew that this challenge was what made the study of interspecies combat so rewarding. As he settled into his chair, Xal'thor activated his personal holographic display, reviewing reports from recent skirmishes involving human forces. Each report was a testament to the humans' ingenuity and determination. They were a species that thrived under pressure, turning adversity into opportunity. Xal'thor smiled to himself. "Yes," he thought, "the humans are indeed a fascinating adversary, and in understanding them, we not only become better warriors, but also better scholars of the art of war." With that, he turned off the display and closed his eyes, ready to face another day of teaching and learning. The galaxy was vast and full of mysteries, but one thing was certain: the humans would always keep him on his toes. challenging him to think beyond the conventional and embrace the unexpected. And that, he mused, was the true essence of interspecies combat.